Tegan Yorwarth. Tegan is a co-host on My FM's My Morning Crew. She is a strong advocate for mental health and for period equity. She's been supporting the Period Place wherever she can, including co-hosting their Period Place podcast with Danica. So welcome, Tegan. Tell us why you're such a fan of the work that Danica and co do.
Well, like you said, we had the privilege of doing a podcast with Danny last year, and essentially the whole kaupapa around the podcast was about period education. So we did a range of episodes on all sorts of different questions that people have, whether it's periods and nutrition, periods and te ao Māori, periods and the stigmas, taboos, all sorts of stuff like this, stuff that I even personally have been, whakama to talk about, embarrassed to talk about. We got to have these like really awesome conversations with people that knew shit about shit, and now from just doing that, we were able to sort of break the wall between wanting to know some information and not knowing where to go to find it. And all of a sudden we had this little hub where people could go, whether it was females not knowing what to do, whether it was non-binary people not knowing where to find a safe space. Because one of our episodes is actually about periods and like the whole non-binary. We talked to someone who's transgender and what that's like experience a period as a transgender man. And that's something I have never heard about. And even for me, someone who's a 24-year-old female who didn't have a lack of access to products, but unfortunately had a lack of access to education, I was able to learn so much more about something that I actually experience once a month, 12 times a year, for a long period of my life, maybe for the next 40 years. So I think from my own personal journey, I support the Period Place because I never knew that period poverty was such a massive issue here in Aotearoa, let alone around the rest of the world. And for someone like me who, like I said, hasn't had a lack of a lot of things, and I've lived quite a comfortable lifestyle, but still that I was so naive to the fact that there were so many people around me and women and people around me that are struggling and can't even just get tampons for the month. Or whether it's a mum that has to choose between whether she's going to have the period products for a month or she's going to provide them for her daughter. Does her daughter miss school because she doesn't get the access to products, or does she miss work because she can't afford to have the products for herself as well? And when you hear stories like that, that's when you go, damn, there's really a need for this, and there's really a need for just one hub where anyone can come through, and whether they just want to learn more and have a safe space to talk about periods, or whether they need the access to the products and stuff like that. That's what the Period Place provides, and that's what they're striving for, is this period equity around Aotearoa, so everybody gets the same. Like businesses should be providing products to their employees, schools should be providing products to their students. Everybody should just have them. They should just be like right here in an arm's reach. And so I don't want to speak on behalf of like a whole bunch of people. I want to speak on behalf of myself and my journey with Danny, and learning so much about myself, and especially the te ao Māori education that I now got about periods. Like I'm Māori myself, and knowing that the Indigenous people thought that periods were so empowering, and now we're so ashamed to talk about it. Now I'm going through work and I'm flinging my tampons and pads around, and I work with 4 boys. My team is with 4 men who are like, don't talk about that. And I'm like, no, we're going to talk about it, and it's okay to talk about it, because guess what? Your sister, your mum, your daughter, they all got them as well. So I think it's just removing that stigma is just such an empowering thing for so many people in New Zealand, and I'm so proud to be an advocate for the Period Place and to be a part of this podcast that we did. And we're going to do a season 2 this year. Yes. Because there's so much more we should talk about. And even on air, when I would talk about it on my show, on my FM, we talk about it and I do a little text bounce back. If you want to listen to the podcast, go hard. And a lot of the people that would text in to want to learn more about it were men who maybe had daughters or wives, and they just wanted to have a better understanding of it. So I think it's just about having this hub, this safe space for everyone, this little safe island where we can all talk about periods, and we can all just come together and we all have our products, our education, everything. Period equity, that's what we're striving for. And because I support the Period Place, I will be donating $250 tonight to support the cause, because this $20,000 for this amazing little retail area and just little distribution centre for period products is such a must-have here in Auckland and just in Aotearoa. So I'm so proud of Danny, and I'm so proud of everyone here, and I'm so stoked to be a part of it. So ngā mihi nui, thank you so much for listening.